here at the Rock Ice Center in Dunellen, New Jersey. Alright, looks like we're all set to go. First lineup out. Ricky and Kevin Lang with Lucas, Kobe, and Doc. And Aydan in net. Still a few injuries. Ben Fisher, Ben Bruto, and Blake Krecker. Hope you guys are doing good. Line's all set. Looks like we're ready to go. Very loud in here. Touchdown. One bat picked up by Lang as he makes his way back. Back over, opposite side, try to kick forward. Lucas drops it in. Gets by defender. Back into the neutral zone. Kobe sends it to the opposite side all the way to the back boards. Littleton picks it up. Kobe back over to fight for it. Doc against the wall. Picks it back out to the point to Ricky. Ricky sends it forward. Back over to Lucas. Lucas just outside. Backhand. Almost gets it in the goal. Nice backhand. Back out. Swipe. Penalty coming up on Team Philadelphia. So Littleton pulls the goaltender, and that will kill that. So we're going to call Lucas with the hold at the 16:10 mark. So Team Philly will be down a man. Touchdown, back out, Littleton gathers and sends it up to the point. Kick save by Aydan. Nichols sends it all the way back. Braden Fisher on the forecheck, back over to put pressure onto the puck. Littleton comes out of their own zone, picks back up. Nichols back over. Team Philly sends it all the way back to the back wall. Braden, Nichols, Thies, and bops out on the ice to kill the penalty. Back out, Thies sends it back out. Opposite side, goaltender comes out. Nichols circles back around. Littleton comes through the neutral zone, looking to set something up. Gets into the zone. Picked up by Thies. Set all the way back. 1:08 left on the Team Philly penalty. Defensive line change. Tobin. Bart out onto the ice. Lang with him. Littleton comes across. Now it's back outside the zone. Sent back to opposite side. Littleton struggling to get into the zone. Picked up. Aydan didn't fully play the puck. Lang lost an edge. Came off the back wall. Aydan wasn't able to get back in his stance, and Littleton gets on the board first. Not the cleanest play. Kind of an ugly 2 mistakes. So on a penalty, the Hawks get on the board 1-0. Touchdown. Hawks come away with it. Out of neutral zone. Picked up. Kobe sends it deep. Goaltender puts a glove on it. Lucas, Doc, Kobe, Ricky, and Tobin. Touchdown. Back over. Sent back out to the point. Tobin sends it over to the opposite corner. Doc loses a glove. Center pass. Picked up by Littleton. Lucas back over. Centers right into the slot. Back out. Littleton sends it deep. Ricky back along the back wall. Picks it clean. Lucas back over. Sends it over to the opposite side over to Tobin. Tobin. And that should be an icing call. Fisher, Thies, Bops, Cusa out on the ice, back along the back wall, picked up by Fisher. Fisher tries to send it out to the zone. Shot goes wide over to the opposite corner. Littleton drops it into the corner. Picked up at the point. Cusa pulls it back through. He's got Fisher. Dumps it into the zone. Tap forward, Littleton comes away with it. Fisher reaches for it. Still in the neutral zone. Fisher swipes at it. Sent back over to the opposite side. Bops pressure onto the puck. Nichols takes a swing at it. Back over to the opposite side. Dropped into the zone. Delayed offside. Sent back over to Bops. Kicked it back up to Fisher. Fisher tried to tap it forward. Cusa's back over with him. Littleton gathers it, looking for an outlet. Nichols putting pressure onto the puck. Bart out onto the ice. Cycled back. Heston, first time on the ice, sends it deep into the zone. Littleton sends it out to the point. Bops is there. Tries to send it on net. Intercepted before it gets to the net. Bops holds it at the blue line. Has to wait for the zone to clear. Delayed offside. Cleared. Luca down into the corner. Back over to Heston. Heston helping. Try to get it. Opposite side corner. Bart's there. Sent back out. Tobin rushes the puck. Sent all the way back. No icing. Picked up by Lang. Lang puts on the brakes. Sends it back out. Taps it to Luca. Forces it forward. Littleton makes a move around. Back into the zone. Tobin's there. Picked up by Littleton on the wing. Another save, couple nice saves by Aydan. Another save by Aydan. All the way back down. Cycle back opposite side. Doc out onto the ice. Picked up by Lang. Keeps it in the neutral zone. Kobe. Cycle back over to Lucas. Lucas alongside the wing. Gets a shot attempt off and pops back out. .32 first period, 1-0 Littleton. Puck's down, back along the boards. Littleton picks it up, cycles it back around the opposite side. Lucas is there, gets a stick on it. Aydan steers it back over to the corner. Back out, almost gets out of the zone. Littleton holds it at the blue line. Lucas is there, holds the defender up. Kobe kicks it into the neutral zone. Doherty and Kobe are there, sent back out. Goes underneath the referee. still under the referee. Back over to Doc. Doc centers it, opposite side, back over to Ricky. Sends it up the boards. Littleton picks it up against the boards. Back over to Ricky. Sends it back over to Kobe. Kobe tried to knock it down with his skate. Back over to Tobin. Got Doc. Lucas comes across the blue line. Lucas gets across. Gets a shot off. Nichols, bops, Fisher, Cusa, right, out onto the ice. Drop back. Ricky at the point. Sends it on net. Deflected by a defender. All the way to the sidewall. Picked up by Nichols. Nichols, opposite side. Cusa back over to retrieve it. Try to push it forward. Littleton picks it up, sends it back around. Nichols drops it back opposite side. Cusa over to attack it. Braden over to help. Littleton gathers. Littleton gains the zone. That's a high stick. Yep. A high stick. It looked like Team Philly did touch it, but they're going to call it. So in zone face-off for Team Philadelphia. Bart, Luca, Jake, Bobst, and Ricky out on the ice. Back out. Jake tried to get it on the strong side. Picked up by Luca. Luca tried to backhand it over towards the net into the slot. Littleton sends it over to the opposite side. Aydan guides it into the protective netting. Puck's back out to the point. Littleton drops it down over on the wing, makes a move around. Try to center it, makes it all the way back. No icing. Heston and Luca back with some token pressure. Heston pressure onto the puck. Littleton sends it back opposite side. Ricky's there. Tries to clear in the zone. Makes it all the way back to Ricky. Ricky back over to Bobst. Luca battling for the puck. Back over to Bobst. 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 Try to check into the boards. Picked up at the point. And Aydan with a nice glove save. Puck's down, back over. Peace out onto the ice, sends it deep. There's a penalty coming up on Littleton for a roughing call. Using the shoulder looks like the call. Actually, it may be a 2 and 10. Not sure. No. Just a 2 minute at the 8:39 mark. So Team Philadelphia have a power play opportunity. Bart, Lucas, Nichols, Doherty, and Kobe. Puck's down. Colorado comes away with it. Littleton centers it, sends it back the opposite side. Drops it back. Cycles all the way back around. Aydan stops it behind the net, picked up by Nichols. Lucas comes across. Back over to Doc. Doc, try to gain the zone, does, sends around the opposite side, picked up by Lucas. Release to Nichols. Over to Doc. Picked up by Nichols again. Takes a shot attempt, goes wide. Nichols. Swung forward, back over to Doc, back into the slide, over to Lucas. Lucas takes a swing at it. Picked up by Kobe. Kobe tried to draw it back and pull it forward. Lucas escapes an arm bar. Back out to Doc. Doc, looking. Back into the corner over to Lucas. Doc took a weird bounce off the ice. 53 seconds left on the power play for Team Philadelphia. Doc comes into the zone looking for a little bit of help. Swings around the opposite side. Kobe comes around. Jake back over to help. Lucas putting pressure onto the puck. Littleton comes away with it. They do a line change and across. Swung back out. Picked up by Doc. 24 seconds left. Nichols thought about it. Doc makes his way around just outside the reach. Braden all the way down, back over. That's going to be a hook on Braden Fisher at the 6:48 mark. So it will be 4-4 for 10 seconds. And then Littleton will go into a power play. Pick back up over to Ricky. Ricky back behind the net looking for some help. Guides it back over to Bops. Bops centers it back over to Ricky. All right, so power play opportunity. Ricky comes across the blue line, dumps it in. Sent back over. Luca. Pressure onto the puck. Littleton gathers it. Jake, little pressure onto the puck. Littleton comes through the neutral zone, now center ice, looking to set something up. Centers it back out to the point. Now it's centered. So Littleton picks up a loose puck off of the first save from Aydan and puts it in the back of the net. So 2-0 off of 2 power plays for Littleton at the 6:04 mark. Fisher out on the faceoff. One back over to Thies. Picks it back up over to Tobin. Tobin sends it long. Cusa rushing towards the puck. Back in the neutral zone. Littleton picks it up. Sent all the way back. Aydan cycles it back over to Thies. Thies drops it over to Tobin. Tobin back over to Cusa. Couldn't kick it down enough. Fisher reaches for it outside the zone. Sent deep, no icing. Aydan back to retrieve it, sends it back, dropped over for Tobin, sends it up the off wall. So penalty call and a shot on net. I'm not sure. I don't know if the goal is going to be allowed. So I think what happened was Braden Fisher had a penalty. Shot was hit and it went off of Team Philly's player. So it killed that call, so no goal. So 2-0 still at the 5:17 mark of the first period. I think that was the call. So Team Philly will again be down a man for its third penalty. Picked up it against the wall. Thies back over, gathers it, has the puck knocked away. Littleton gathers it, sends it back out to the point. Back opposite side. Sends back out to the point again. Nichols out on the ice. Lyons back over, tries to clear the zone, kicked down by Littleton, sent all the way back to the back wall. Lang back over to put pressure on it. Winger releases, back out to the point. Aydan with a knockdown. Another knockdown. Nichols comes away with it. Tries to escape, back over. Littleton gathers it. Nichols coming back up. Littleton, center ice. Good tap away by Ricky. Lang tries to clear the zone. Picked back up. Back over to Lucas. Lucas on the ice. Got one guy in front of him. Makes another move. Oh, almost gets a shot off. Goes just wide. Sent back opposite side. Picked up, sent deep. All the way to the opposite side. Goaltender picks it up. Releases back opposite side. 39 seconds left on the penalty kill for Team Philadelphia. Littleton sends it back through. Lucas meets the winger at the blue line. 24 seconds left. Back over to Lucas. Lucas tried to move it around the defender. Couldn't. Defender picks it up. Sends it back opposite side. Offsides. Lucas bops Doc Thies. Fisher in the box. 7 seconds left. Sends it deep. 4 seconds. 3. All the way back. Even strength. First penalty kill off by Team Philadelphia after 2. Lucas reaches for it. Loses an edge. Pulls it back. Sent back into the zone. Littleton tries to send it up. Makes it all the way back to the back wall. Kobe back over. Cycles it over to the opposite corner. Thies, check into the boards. Picked up by Lucas. Lucas back over to Kobe. Kobe sends it over to the opposite side. Littleton gathers it. Picked back up by Thies. Thies. Littleton drops it in. 2:37 left first period. High stick. High stick. Out back into the neutral zone. Sent all the way back. Cycle back over to Bob's. Bob's. Doherty kicks it forward. Drop back into the neutral zone. Littleton. Sent back over to Bops. Bops cycles it back opposite side. Cusa onto the ice. Lifts a stick back over to Nichols. Nichols taps it forward. Drops it in. Cusa on the forecheck. Back over. Cusa looking. Fisher cycles it back over against the boards. Nichols knocks it back down again. Center pass. Offsides. So 1:25 left first period. Team Philly down 2-0. Puck's down, one back by Littleton. They pick it up. Fisher. Pressure onto the puck. Breaks away from the defender. Gets a shot off. Nice kick save by the goaltender. Back into the neutral zone. Lang. Back over to Fisher. Fisher. Over to Cusa. Cusa tried to pull it through. Was unable to do so. Littleton breaks out into the neutral zone. Picked up by Fisher. Fisher got a couple guys in tow. Looking. Back out to Cusa. Cusa back over to Fisher. Opposite side pass out to Lang at the point. Gets a shot attempt off. Goalie didn't see it, but it was wide. Back out to the point to Tobin. Tobin makes his way. 33 seconds left. All the way to the back wall. Tobin. Good defensive stick by Barthol. Still floating out. Now to the back wall. 12 seconds. Bart. Back over to Luca. Luca taps it forward. Heston knocks it down. 4, 3, 2, 1. And that will do it for the first period. Picked up by Littleton. Littleton gets a shot. Aydan tried to glove it down, came out of his glove, put his mitt back on it. Puck's back over. Ricky gathers it, cycles back opposite side. Kick back up over to Doherty. Doherty back up to Lucas. Kobe sends it forward. Kobe on the forecheck. Lucas back over in the corner. Centers it back out to Doc. Doc. Opposite side. Littleton sends it over to the opposite corner. Kobe charges for it. Almost picked up by Doc. Backhand goes into the protective webbing. Fisher on the face-off. Puck is still battled for underneath. Littleton comes away with it. Sends it back out to the point. Takes a shot attempt and Aydan gloves it down. Puck's down, back out to the corner. Tobin retrieves it. Tries to send it out of the zone, picked up at the point by Littleton, now back along the wing. Cusa's there. Knocked back, opposite side. Nichols in a foot race over to the puck. Dropped down, couldn't find it. Now it's there. Cusa back over. That's out of the zone piece. Cusa back into the back corner, picked up by Nichols. Centering pass goes right into the defender, into the slot. Nichols gets it, turns, Takes a shot attempt, fires, gets knocked down before the goal. Picked up at the point by Thies. Would have been a delayed offsides as it is. Anyway, still delayed offsides. Now it's cleared. Goaltender gloves it. Back along the wall, Bart charging forward. Looking, picked up by Luca. Luca thought about firing down, but it didn't. Still picked up. Referee getting a little bit of action. Sent back out over to Thies. Thies drops it in. Centers it back opposite side. Knocked down by Tobin. Sent deep. Picked up by Thies. Thies puts on the brakes. Cycles it back over to Jake. Jake goes long with it. Misses the mark. Cycles it back opposite side. Back over to Tobin. Tobin dumps it in. Delayed offsides. Cleared. Picked up by Tobin. As a pass shot attempt. Tries to get a shot attempt off. Littleton pulls it back through, 13:39. Littleton sends it opposite side. Over to Lang. Lang loses it off his stick. Back over to Ricky. Ricky sends it outside the zone. Back over to Doherty. Gives it up to Lucas. Lucas gets a shot attempt off. Goaltender knocks it down. Aydan comes out of the net, pulls it back to the back wall. Ricky cycles it back opposite side, sends it over to the opposite. Ricky picks it up, tries to clear it past the defender, is unable to. Littleton picks it up into the corner. Ricky back over to assist again. Shot attempt goes off of Kobe to the back wall. A cycle back over to Lang. I believe it's a slash coming up on Team Philly again. Let's see who this one's on. This one is on Ricky. So Team Philly again for the fourth time on a penalty kill situation. Fisher, Nichols, Bobst, Thies. Puck's down. Littleton try to gather it. Fisher back out to get to it. Puck makes its way all the way outside the zone. Nichols. Littleton drops it back to the point. Back over to wing. Try to set something up. Aydan guides it to the corner. Back out to the point. Shot attempt. Goes over Aydan's shoulder. Nichols pressure onto the puck. Littleton comes across the blue line. Try to set something up. Centers it back over. Fisher knocks it back down. Now it's back out to the point. Back over to Fisher. Fisher gets it. Comes across, waits. Dumps it in. 41 seconds left on the penalty kill for Team Philadelphia. Back over to the opposite side, picked up by Luca. Luca sends it forward. Littleton gains his own, comes across center ice, opposite side, takes a shot attempt and goes just past Aydan's glove, or blocker. Sent all the way back, 15 seconds left. Kevin Lang on the ice, replacing Bops. Luca choking pressure, back over. Littleton, 2, 1. Even strength. Littleton takes a shot attempt, and that'll be an icing call. Heston, Luca, Kevin, Bart, and Tobin out onto the ice. 10:20 left second period, 2-0 Littleton. Drop back out to the point. Littleton dumps it in. Lang back over to retrieve it. Sends it long. Littleton tries to dump it back in. Lang's back there. All the way back to the back wall, picked up by Tobin. Tobin, Heston, sends it back over to Bart. Bart almost had an angle on it. Nice save by Aydan. Nice save. Littleton wins the face-off, sends it across the opposite side. Luckily, nobody was sitting in the back door. Kobe sends it up. Lucas pulls it back through, back over to Doc. Doc. Lucas pushes it forward. Sent back over to Ricky, sends it up the far wall. Cycle back over to Ricky. Kobe picks it up, sticks it forward. Back opposite side, looking. Takes a shot attempt. Puck's down, back out to the point to Doc. Gets a shot attempt off. Goalie steers it back into the corner. Lucas tried to get to it, loses it off his stick. Littleton picks it up. Sent over to the back wall. Thies on the back check. Goalie equipment issue at the other end. Okay, so neutral zone face-off at the 8:08 mark, second period, 2-0. Hawks are up. Lucas, Kobe, Doc. Lucas try to send it back. Picked back up by Lucas. Sent back out in the neutral zone. Hawks. Sent back up. Lucas drops it back. Picked up by a defender. Net came off the moorings. Fisher, Cusa, Nichols. Back out, over to Cusa. Cusa, opposite side, back over to Nichols. Nichols tabs it forward, makes his way around the defender. Lang and Wright back on defensive end. Nichols tried to pick it clean, was unable to do so. Sent back out in the neutral zone. Lang on the back check. Sends it back up the boards. Fisher back over, sends it over to Nichols. Nichols clears the zone. Littleton gains the zone. Peeled off the puck is Nichols. Back over to Nichols. Nichols looking. Back over to Fisher. Fisher across the blue line. Opposite side. Back over. Oh, try to return the favor. Back out to Lang. Lang takes a shot attempt and goes just wide. Cusa drops it back over to Fisher. Fisher makes his way around. Cycles it back over. Gets a shot off. Scores! Great 1-2-3 on that one. Fires off. So Cusa rips one to the 5-hole from a beautiful feed from Braden Fisher at the 6:41 mark to put Team Philadelphia on the board for the first time. So 2-1. Luca, Jake, Lang, and Ricky. Touchdown, back over. Luca sends it forward. Littleton gathers. Pick back up. Jake over to put pressure onto the puck. Back over to Bart. Bart sends it deep into the zone. Picked up by Littleton. Jake on the forecheck. Littleton tries to clear it back into the zone. Bart sends it deep again. Delayed offsides, cleared the zone, picked up by Littleton. Dropped in the air, back over to Ricky. Ricky tried to get under it. Bart back over against Jake. Turns and fires, and it's out the zone. Littleton's got to regroup, sends it back. All the way to the back wall. Lang back over on the back check to pick it up. Ricky cycles it back over to Lang. Dumps it back over to Luca. Lang. Centering pass. Catches Aydan off angle. And so Littleton quickly returns a favor. Almost a similar play as Team Philadelphia scored. Back into the corner, finds a guy in the wing. Quick rapid shot. Puts it in the back of the net. 3-1. So at the 5:38 mark, 2-goal differential again, 3-1. Kobe sends it forward. Back over. Centering pass by Lucas, tried to get there. Littleton taps it forward, breaks out. Bops loses an edge, pick back up. Nice save by Aydan. Pick back up into the neutral zone, picked up by Kobe. Kobe sends it to the opposite side, try to get through the legs of a defender. Kobe's there. Up to Lucas, gets a shot attempt off. Got tangled, back out to the point, turnover. Center pass. Littleton sends it over to the opposite side. Breaks out. No, that's going to be an offsides. Brady, Kevin, Sean, and Aydan out on the ice. Team Philly gathers it, sent back into the neutral zone. Littleton sent it over to the opposite side, picked up by Tobin. Tobin sends it back out. Aydan whips his way through, sends it on net. Goaltender puts a glove on it. Puck's down, picked up by Littleton. In the neutral zone, picked up by Lang. Lang gets pulled off the puck. Littleton sends it opposite side. Littleton thought about a high stick, didn't. Littleton drops it back, centers it. Back over to Nichols. Nichols gets around the defender. He's got one in front, one beside him. Gets a shot attempt off. Goaltender pulls it to the back end. Back out to Lang. Lang tried to take a one-timer from the point, whips on it. Back out to Luca, who's on the ice. Heston back over to put pressure on, pulls it clean for her. Oh my gosh, Bart had a golden opportunity after a nice pull-through by Jake. So 3:04 mark. Team Philly's down 3-1. Bart, Jake, Luca, Bobst, and Ricky. Littleton tosses it back up. Ricky drops it down, sends it in the zone. Littleton gathers it. Luca takes a swipe at it, misses it. Littleton gains his own. Comes back up. Back out, Doc sends it deep into the opposite corner, picked up by the Hawks. So tripping coming up on the Hawks at the 138 mark. I don't know if that was a legitimate call or not. I think it was just a normal play, but in anyways, that will put Team Philly on a power play at the 138 mark. Bart on the faceoff. Back out, pulled clean by Doc. Doc looking. Over to Aydan. Shot attempt goes wide. Lucas picks it up against the wall. Back over to Bart. Over to Nichols. Nichols tried to get a shot attempt off. Made back out to neutral zone. Picked up by Kobe. Kobe gains his own. Back out to the point to Doc. Gets a shot attempt. Back down, picked up by Doc, sent it out to Nichols. Nichols, opposite side over to Lucas. Lucas takes a shot attempt off with a defender in front of him, goes off his stick. Over to Nichols. Center pass right to Kobe. Kobe fires, goes wide. The net comes off the moorings. .40 seconds left in the period. 1:02 left on the power play. Try to clear. Back into the slot. Knocked back down. Nichols gathers it. Picked up by Doc. Doc. Over to Lucas. Lucas gains his own. Turns. 16 seconds. Takes a shot attempt. Goes off the defender's stick. Picked up by Bart. Bart looking. Nice centering pass. Kobe coming off the ice after getting slashed in the net. So 22 seconds left on the power play for Team Philadelphia. Kobe, something happened to him. I think Kobe probably caught a stick to his ear, to the neck area. Looks like he's okay over there. of the final period. Team Philly still has 22 seconds left on the power play. Bart, Bob, Doc, Nichols, and Lucas. Puck's down. Picked up by Lucas. Fought for. They send it all the way back. Littleton looking to burn some time off. Sent back out in the neutral zone. 3, 2, 1. Even strength for Littleton. Shot attempt. Aydan does a good job of getting a glove on it. Nichols picks it up. Cycles it back over to Doc. Doc back into the neutral zone. Lucas gathers it. Pulls it through. Looks. Bart comes off the ice. Lucas across the blue line. Takes a shot attempt. Goes off a defender's skate. All the way back to Ricky. Ricky knocks it down. Picked into the neutral zone. Lucas comes across. Cycles it down. Cusa and Fisher on the attack. Littleton sends it around to the opposite side. Pops back out. Back over to Cusa. Cusa. Over to Kobe. Kobe taps it forward. Oh, turnover. Brady. Braden turns back over in the neutral zone looking for somebody sitting in the slot. Ricky's there. Drops it back. Littleton picks it up. Into the protective netting. Littleton gathers it, back out to the point. Cusa, pressure onto the puck. Tobin back over, gets it, comes out into the neutral zone. Littleton backhands, has to wait for the zone to clear. Cusa back, swipes at it, sends it deep. Kobe's there. Littleton. Aydan with a nice knockdown, picks it up. Tobin. Sent to Kobe on the opposite side, but Kobe wasn't quite ready. Littleton on the pickup. Back over to Tobin. Tobin back over to Lang. Lang kicks it back over to the opposite side. Sent deep, delayed offsides. Picked up by Tobin. Tobin back over to Heston. Heston back out to Bart. Bart sends it forward. Luca on the forecheck. Littleton back over. Gets it knocked away. Sent back over to the opposite side. Bart picks it up. Back over to Luca. Luca tried to clear the zone. Knocked down by Littleton. Bart over to the wall. Now it's into the neutral zone. Delayed offside. Littleton has to clear the zone. Lang goes forward, try to get it to a streaking Nichols. Littleton has to wait. Aydan knocks it back down, puts a glove on it. So 13:25 left in the third period. Team Philly down 3-1. Team Philly had some trouble just getting the puck on net. Credit to Littleton to a certain degree, but just not getting the action from a shot perspective. Lucas wins it back over to Ricky. Ricky sends it up the boards, back over to Doc. Doc pushes it forward. Littleton back out. Back over to Bops. Bops, ooh, takes a shot. Goaltender was not ready for that. Suddenly saw it out the corner of his eye. Back out, Doc gets a shot off. Knocked down by the goaltender. Sent back out in the neutral zone. Bobs picks it up. Goaltender gloves it down again. Puck's down to the back corner. Hawks pick it up. Scott gathers it. Turns it off, opposite side. Picked up by Nichols. Nichols back out to the point, over to Bops. Bops gets a shot attempt off. Hit by a defender. Lucas is back over. Gathers it back out to the point to Nichols. Nichols takes a shot attempt and goes high over the goaltender's head. Ricky's there. Cycles it back down. Pick back up, maintain the zone. Back over to Dougherty. Dougherty turned just off the mark with a pass. Lucas knocks it back, waits for the zone to clear. Now it's back into the neutral zone. Picked up by Ricky. Ricky sends it deep. Offsides, cleared. Littleton gathers it. Sends it over to the opposite side. Bops is there. Littleton doesn't have any support. It drops it in, sends it to the opposite side. Ricky's back over to attack. Sent back over to the opposite corner. Nichols over to fight for it. Gathers it. Good defensive stick by Lucas. If not, that guy coming up probably knocks it. Gets a shot attempt. Sent all the way to the opposite side. Bops gets it. Cleared back out. 11:23 left. Back over to Kobe. Kobe drops it in. Picked up by Fisher. Fisher makes a move around. Takes a swipe at it. Fisher back over. Kobe taps it forward over to Fisher. Sent long, and that will be an icing call. So 10:51. Team Philly down 3-1. Fisher, Cusa, Tobin, Kobe, East. Back out, almost gathered it before it left the zone. And that'll stay in the zone for face-off as it goes off the rafters. Puck's down. Cusa's there. Tries to center it. Nobody's there. Littleton comes away with it into the neutral zone. Thief's on the back check. Picked up by Tobin. Tobin back over to Kobe. Kobe by himself. Centering pass will make its way all the way back out. Littleton beats the defender around the corner and takes a shot attempt. Goes over Aydan's shoulder. Now picked back up all the way to the point. Littleton sends it around to the opposite side. Dangerous play. Shot attempt redirected but goes to the back wall. Thies back over to Kobe. Kobe drops it in. Bart on the forecheck. Back over. Goaltender knocks it back. Lucas back over, opposite side, had his stick lifted, takes a shot attempt by Luca. Sorry, it wasn't Lucas, that was Jake. Nice gathering of the puck there. Try to get a shot attempt off. Bart. That was offsides. Still fighting for the puck. Bart and Ricky. Ricky gathers it. Whips on the puck. Nice save by Aydan. Picked up by Lang. Lang back over to Luca. Luca releases it. Back up to Lucas. Drop back into Lang. Holds it in the zone. Picked back up. Lucas toe drag. Opposite side. Picked up by Luca. And the net comes off the moorings again. 8:16. Back out, Doc, try to get to it. Littleton comes away with it, back into the corner. Doc ties him up, Lucas has got it. Feeds back into a defender right in the slot. Sent back over to the opposite side. Aydan saves it, kicks it back out to the boards. Back behind the net, picked up by Lang. Lang, back over to Nichols. Lucas sends it forward, Doc on the forecheck. Littleton drops it back out, nobody back on the defensive end. Bops comes around. Peace comes away with it. And that makes its way and peels paint off of the ceiling. All right. Face off. Back into the corner. Lucas's trip. The 10 did back out. Back over to Doc. He's got Nichols coming over. Oh, shot attempt. Another shot attempt. Lucas, Doc, Nichols, Peace, and Bob. Littleton gathers it on the opposite side. sent deep, all the way to the back wall. Picked up by Thies. Thies circles it back over to Bops. Takes an odd bounce. Thies kicks it forward, back into the neutral zone. Nichols just outside of his reach. Drop back down. Now it's cycled back over to Collin. Collin loses it off his stick. Now it's back over to Bops. Bops tried to get it over to Nichols. Send it back over to Bops. Thies there. Zone cleared. Back opposite side. Lucas is back over to the corner. Looks. Tries to send it out to the point. Was not there. Team Philly with the line change. Sent all the way back. Tap forward. No icing. Picked back up by Lang. Lang overruns the puck. Has the stick lifted. Back over to Cusa. Cusa filters it back over to Fisher. Cusa takes a shot attempt. Brayton tries to reach up for it. Cusa waits for the zone to clear. Sends it deep. Back over. Cusa intercepts it. Center pass. Back along the boards. Fisher. Pressure onto the puck. Littleton comes away with it. Back out. 2-on-1 opportunity. Kick save by Aydan. Tobin's back over. It's got 3-on-1 opportunity to get it out. Fisher. Tobin loses an edge. Littleton sends it over to the opposite side. 4:55 left in this game. Lang gathers it, knocks it down, back over to Fisher. Fisher just can't control it. Tobin sends it deep over to the opposite wall, right out in front of the goaltender, swiped over to the corner by Littleton. Tobin sends it back to the deep wall, back over to Jake. Jake battling for the puck. Luca back over to help, tries to pull it through. Puck is trapped. Littleton comes away with it. Ricky can't save it in the zone. Drops it back out. Tobin. Luca looking for a little bit of help. Tried a centering pass. Picked up by Littleton. Sent all the way back. Goes deep, and that'll be an icing call. So 3:53 left in this game. Team Philly's down 3-1. Offside. Nichols drops it in. Lucas back along the boards, takes a swipe at it. Doherty back over to help. Presses defender off the puck into the back wall. Lucas reaches for it. Sent back out into the corner. Nichols is back over. Jumps the stick of Doherty. Sent forward all the way back. Picked up by Bops. Bops Lucas across the blue line. Drops it back over for Doherty. Back out point. Ricky sends it over to the opposite side. Now it makes its way out to the neutral zone. Oh my gosh. Aydan with a wicked save. Kobe, Cusa, Fisher, Bops, and Ricky. Sent back out into the neutral zone. 2:24 left in the game. Bops tried to knock it down with his hand, picked back up. Back over to Cusa. Cusa tried to hit Kobe streaking up the opposite side. Picked up all the way to the back wall. Ricky's there. Jumps it back up to Kobe. Kobe sends it back all the way to the opposite side. Fisher tried to put a stick on it, couldn't. .147 left. Hawks pick it up. Aydan gloves it down. Aydan, quick save. Back over to Lucas. Lucas. Opposite side over to Nichols. Nichols drops it in. Team Philly pulls Aydan. Clear the goal. Lucas back pressure. Back over to Nichols. Right to a defender. Picked back up by Nichols. Nichols back out to Thies. Thies. Oh my gosh, opposite side. Tobin had a wide open net. Couldn't capitalize. Picked up by Nichols. Now Doherty. Shot attempt. Puck is still floating out. Back over to Doc. 54 seconds left. Back over to Nichols. Nichols. Cycles it back over to Doc. Running out of time. .41 seconds after a melee in front. Out of zone face-off in the neutral zone. Actually, now it's in zone. So 40 seconds left. 40.5. Timeout for Team Philadelphia. right, so 40 seconds to try to get this game tied up. Aydan's out of the net. 6 skaters on for Team Philadelphia. Doc, Kobe, Cusa, Lucas, Nichols, Fisher. Puck's down. Back over to the opposite side. Picked up by Nichols. Nichols holds it up. Shot attempt. It's right there. Back out to the point to Lucas. Lucas. Oh, shot goes over top of the goaltender's head. Back over into the corner. Picked up by Cusa. Cusa cycles it back over to Doc. Shot attempt wide. Was working last night. Didn't work now. Back over to Kobe. Kobe drops it back down over to Lucas. Lucas, 12 seconds. And that goes into the rafters. So 3-1 defeat. First loss of the season. So Team Philly, good try against a tough Littleton team. So game tonight, 7:50 against Powell Blue Knights.